Thank you, and great to be here this afternoon. You hear me well?
Yes.
Brilliant. So, OnDosis spun out from AstraZeneca 2 years ago, where I, before being part of spinning it out, spent 25 years of my career. And I've been, from the inside, seeing how biology and better understanding of biology has made R&D teams understand and push better treatments for patients. But I've also been thrilled, or let's say, surprised by the fact that the way we deliver treatments to patients is the same now as they were 25 years ago. Capsules and pills. One would argue that because that's perfect. And it can be in some cases. But we also do know that the way we deliver medicines to patients today have some inherent drawbacks. We know that for some diseases, psychiatry, neurology, for example, doctors have to work quite hard to find the right balance between effect and side effects. We know that some controlled substances really create chaos in society and harmful use and misuse. In the US, that's on the agenda all the time, but also in Europe, it is the case, both for pain medications and ADHD medications, for example. We know that regulators for a long time has pushed Big Pharma around what is an age-appropriate treatment for children? Probably not a capsule or a pill. And we knew from a payer point of view that whenever these medicines hit the patients, we know they don't take them and we don't know what the results are. Everything just goes into a black box. And we also know that pharmaceutical companies have to spend quite a lot of time and complexity around finding that right dose in a phase 2 situation. And that's what we're trying to address with OnDosis. Now, we're trying to address that in 3 different layers, on 3 different ways. One is on the individual patient level, where we want to bring superior dosing, which basically means we want to make sure that patients are on that right dose they need all the time. Help them with adherence, create reassurance, and make them having the ability and possibility to see and follow up on their own treatments. On the second layer, we want to connect providers and patients so that they better understand what's happening with treatments once they go out in clinical practice. What are the real results of interventions, and how can we change that? And thirdly, we want to help pharmaceutical companies speed up the way they do dose finding. So how do we do that? It sounds quite complicated. Well, in a way it is, but in a way it's not. So the good news is we're going to use the technology which is well known and established for long. Granules and microparticles or pellets is a well-known way to formulate oral solids today. The point is that you take that fairly beautiful formulation technology and put it in a capsule, or you bake it into a pill, and you make it very rigid. What we are doing instead is that we're integrating that into a handheld device. So basically what we do is we're allowing patients to take the dose of medicine they want and need, or the doctors ordinate to them. And you get the medicine in a flexible way, straight like this, to be taken. Now, that can be done in a way where it's pre-programmed, because this is electromechanical. You can have a way to program going from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 milligrams over a 5-week period, which would be highly helpful for ADHD patients. You could do the opposite after an acute surgery with pain medications. Go from 100 milligrams to 75 to 50 to 25. And you can build in there a digital capability, connecting it to other sensors, either to apps with patient closeness in terms of engagement, or to build it into the cloud and find ways of using that data for better interventions, better research. So that's what we're doing. The thing comes as an integrated treatment. You should see this as an asthma inhaler or an insulin pen, not more complicated than that. It has 2 parts, one which will be lasting for a year or 2, which is a control unit, and one which is replacing what is today a box of pills or a blister pack with capsules. Doctors prescribing this as he would do with an asthma inhaler. After a month, the patient will go back to pharmacy and get a refill. Very much like you would do today with device-driven treatments, but you will do it for oral solids. Now, everybody's talking about that out there is biologicals as the big thing. But there are 5,000 oral medicines, some of them highly potent, and 50% of next-generation cancer medicines are going to be delivered in an oral solid way that will utilize better adherence, individualization of treatment. So the universe for which this could play for the future could be big. However, we want now to focus on things that are here and now. And we've selected two opportunities. One in ADHD, stimulants that we know are hard to titrate, hard to dose adjust, which we know are misused by several 20-25% of college students, where the disease have an inherent issue with compliance, and where many are diagnosed when they're children, and they want to swallow the medicines in a simpler fashion than through a number of big capsules or pills. Here we're talking to a European pharmaceutical company about the collaboration and an in-licensing, and we're building our own product for launch in the US together with Recipharm, which is a company based here in Stockholm. The second area we go for is pain, where we for 1 year has had a collaboration together with a big or say mid-sized European pharma, where we have spent 1.5 million euros in building a concept. We're now closed that collaboration, but we have a concept which we are ready to take to other US players in terms of trying to reassure a better and safer treatment of pain, mainly in the US. So that's what we're doing here and now. We have conversations ongoing with big pharmas around what is the future of oral cancer medicines. Extremely potent medicine, fairly costly medicines, handed on to patients to be taken at home. Shouldn't that be controlled better? Shouldn't that be followed better? Wouldn't payer want to see what really happens? And then we're building a concept for developing medicines for pediatric use, and we're building a concept around flexible combinations and dose finding. So those are our five key areas where we focus on. We believe it's going to be the first in category product. We haven't really settled on the name. For now, we call it the dosage manager. Clearly, we are in terms of proof of concept in the right spot. We have a dosing accuracy here, which is below the one, or better than you would expect from a capsule or a pill, already from our prototypes. We have talked to physicians, payers, pediatricians, and pharmacists in the US around the ADHD opportunity, and they would say that 1 out of 3 patients should have this. Now, I've done market research for 20 years, so I know you need to take a big pinch of salt on stated use. But we would think that 1 out of 10 patients with ADHD would highly benefit from this concept in the US, which is a market of $6 billion US dollars. So there's a great opportunity there. We have several partners talking to us about this opportunity. We do have IP protection, which is mechanical, which means that it's not about software, it's very difficult around it. We basically have a concept of doing this and getting these granules out in an exact fashion without harming them, from dose number 1 to dose 30, however you hold the device, angle-wise, if you're on the top of Åreskutan or if you are on Mallorca. So that's what we're doing, and we have shown that we can do this with very many different sizes and compositions of granules. Cost of goods, we are managing that in a sense that this will not harm margins for pharma in terms of launching a new product and thinking that, well, an oral, I have 95% profitability, would I only have 50%? No. It's going to be slightly more expensive, but if you have a cost of treatment around $1 per day, you won't see the difference in margin. That's how we're managing cost of goods. Our business will be an out-licensing business. We do product development, we do IP, we do regulatory, but we are licensing this to pharma on a field base. So pain, ADHD, what have you. Manufacturing will be happening by contract manufacturers, and we're working with 2 right now, Nipro, based in Ireland, US, and Scanfil, based outside Linköping in Sweden. Linköping in Sweden. And they would probably do 1 each. And for ADHD, we're working with Recipharm, as I said. We do also look for ways of building the digital capabilities, and we're seeking for partners there. Right now, we're working with a Swedish, US-based company called Mentormate. Is this not already existing? Well, many people see the need of doing something about capsules and pills and their drawbacks. And many people do interesting things. But no one is integrating those 4 core customer needs: flexibility, protection, reassurance, and adherence into one integrated medicine to be treated with the patients. There are things out there that does parts of it. No one, as we know, is doing all of it. So right now we're focusing on a application to FDA as a platform technology in the beginning of the spring. So with some good luck and tailwind and good hard work, we will have a technology approved a year from now. We're working with our ADHD program, aiming to file that in the US during 2021. And with again, hard work and some tailwind, we will launch an ADHD product with a partner, a commercial partner, obviously, in 2022. So that's where we are. The team behind this, besides myself, is having a significant development, medical device development experience, and the board, as you can see, has both pharma, medtech, digital tech, and strategic consultancy background. So a decent team there. I hope I've tempted you to reach out and have conversation. My day tomorrow looks quite open, so I have time for a coffee with anyone that's thrilled and interested, and I hope that is a few of you at least. Thank you very much.